I wanted to jump on, give you a week one update. It has been a whole week. So let's see. September, actually, the week of August 25th, my birthday week, we trained Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? So Tuesday, I got a massage from her, gave her feedback on that massage. Wednesday, I gave her a massage and took her through our process from start to finish so that she could see what it's like from a client's perspective. And then Thursday, I broke that down. We spent 3 hours together breaking that process down step by step, starting with the greeting, the consultation, um, resetting expectations around results, having a plan, communicating that plan, resetting expectations around pressure, how the process that I created and the training that I created, I went over that with her, which is woven in through the entire process, the entire 5-star process that I call it for service businesses, which is the keys to a great massage process. So we went over that. That's basically how to nail the service and how to communicate with the client in a way that actually gets them results. The after session consult, making a recommendation, and then offering packages and things like that. So she worked on 6 people last week. I sent out 2 emails and then 1 system-wide text. This is what I've done for marketing. 2 emails and 1 system-wide text booked us 8.5 hours, 6 people for 8.5 hours. Okay. Of those 6 people, she rebooked 5 of them and sold 4 of them a package. So needless to say, as a business owner, training an employee, I am very happy with those results. That was $774 in services, and she doubled that for an additional $776 in packages. Keep in mind, she is going through my apprenticeship program right now. And so we are offering a special price for people to come and see her so that we can get her paid, number one, and so that we can actually get feedback from them so that I can continue to train her over the next 3 months and making sure that she is serving customers to our expectations. Now, she's been a therapist for 14 years, so a lot of this, like I don't have to mess with her technique all that much. It's more the communication around how to explain to people what she actually does. So 2 emails, 1 system-wide text, 6 appointments. We're talking $1,550 in services in her first week. So now that we have that, plus I'm getting feedback from clients. Now that we have this, we're honing in. There is some feedback that I've gotten, some constructive feedback that I need to relay to her this week. And so, but so far, the overwhelming majority of people are very happy with her service and her massage. She even is probably going to be stealing one of my clients because the way she massages, this client really, really enjoyed it. I don't want to say I'm not upset, right? Like emotionally, I'm not very happy about that. Logically, I want the customer to get the best possible service, no matter who it is. And so I have already given her my blessing to, if she wants to see that, my new therapist, to go ahead and do that, especially since she works for me, or if she wants to go back and forth, whatever she wants to do, she has my full blessing, my full support. I want her to get the best service that she could possibly get. And if it is with my other therapist, then it's with my other therapist. And the bottom line is I don't really want people on my team who can't steal my clients, right? I want people who can do that. And she's like the amount of packages that she's selling, the amount of rebookings that she's doing, she is blowing her own mind. It's just the communication and her ability now, after going through our process, to communicate what she's doing and then to actually have conversations around money and packages and rebooking comfortably. Let me just tell you, day one, she sold a 3 hour package, and then she sold a 4.5 hour package. It was a little bit of mix up because we don't typically do that. But she did that day one. And I'm talking, she bumbled. She told me, she's like, I was fumbling through it. I don't, I was nervous saying these things and asking these questions and doing this process. And she kind of blew herself away that she was able to rebook both of those people and sell them both packages. So I'm super, super pumped. But we just have to keep this process going, right? We're going to continue to revisit this process because she's been a therapist for 14 years or longer, going on 15, I think. She has habits, right? The things that I showed her last week are not now her new habit. Like, we have to go over this many, many times until the things that I expect become a habit, right? And that's one of the harder things with hiring people, is that it is very time consuming in the beginning. As I grow, ideally I want to have somebody else be able to take over a good amount of this process, or at least the follow-up conversations that happen afterwards, right? Like, I can train initially and then have somebody else do the follow-up and the feedback, and continue with that. And maybe it's her one day, but it is a good amount of time that you need to spend with somebody in the beginning to actually get them to the point that they're doing things the way that you believe they should be done, and the way that you expect them to be done, and the process that you have for your customers, and how you and the consistencies that you want in your business. I don't really teach, like, critique that much on technique or style of massage, but I absolutely expect the consultation to go a certain way. I absolutely expect that you're going to check in with pressure, that you're doing your best to find the right area, find the right pressure, work it for the right amount of time, right? And then there's a bunch of other things that I'm not going to talk about in this video, but those are some of the expectations that I have for each customer that comes in. Those are the things that we can control, right? I can't control whether somebody likes my style or her style, okay. So 2 emails, 1 system-wide text. On Tuesday, last Tuesday, I was leaving that day. My car broke down that morning, on my way to take my kids to school. I still got the car towed back to the house, freaking Ubered over to the business because I had a video shoot with my therapist that I wanted to get done before I was heading out of town at 1 o'clock. And then I had to go pick up my kids, so that we can go catch a plane to meet my wife and son in Disneyland. So I only say that to say, do your best to keep your commitments, right? I could have easily used that as an excuse not to do this and to just put it off till later. But then I wouldn't have 3 or 4 videos out right now marketing and promoting her, right? I wouldn't be able to get those until this week, and a whole other week after I left, right? Which is not okay. And so I wanted to make sure, look, I can Uber. I'll get there. We'll do the video shoot. I already have videos edited. I've sent them to my ads guy. We're going to put those up in Facebook ads and start marketing and promoting her there. So we got the video shoot done. Got a lot of good content, a lot of behind the scenes content. If you're not following me on Instagram, you can do so at Michael Ortiz Jr. on Instagram, or you can see what I'm doing for her at Massage Customs 2.0 on Instagram. So have 3 pieces of content, maybe 4 now as I'm making this video, posted. I put her on ClassPass. I'm working on a Groupon right now. I've uploaded these videos to Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And I've sent the videos to my ads manager. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then I also went back from September all the way back to April and followed up with 75 to 100 leads that we've had come in the past, to see what would come from that. I'm not that concerned at the moment. Of course, I want to get her paid, and there's a lot of different tactics that we're going to be implementing over the next few months that we'll talk about. I want to get her paid. Right now, she has proven to me 5 out of 6 people she's rebooked that sending her people is a safe bet. We still have some tweaks because even though one of them rebooked, there's one thing she didn't do that if she would have done that, she probably would steal this client from me long term, right? Which is simply just finding the right pressure for that client. She loved everything else about that service, but it was just the pressure on her lower back, back and lower back wasn't where that customer wanted it, and it was leaving her wanting or leaving that piece missing, right? And she's like, everything was great. And I piped in and was like, except for this one thing that would have made you incredibly happy, right? And that's what we're missing a lot of times. That is what is killing our business a lot of times. It's just everything is great. It's 95% of things are great, but this 5%, this 2%, this 1% that's missing, that can make the customer incredibly happy, over the top happy, and make it so easy for you to get people back. If she would have hit the right pressure on that client that day, that client would have been a raving fan. But instead, there's some hesitancy, right? Instead, there's some, well, I think some people would book with her if they like a certain thing, but she's not comfortable just referring anybody to her, right? And then, um, one of the other customers, I don't think, I mean, she enjoyed the service, but still prefers what I do in my massage, doesn't want to leave. I don't think that it was more of a style mismatch, right? And she told me she just didn't feel better after, right? Which again, if I don't get that feedback from her, my therapist is never going to hear things like that. We go through our entire career and we never really hear the truth about how we did. And so that's the benefit of putting her through this process. And that's what you should, if you're hiring therapists, you need to be getting feedback and then relaying that feedback to them, but in a way that is actionable, right? Like you can't just go and be like, hey, this client didn't like your massage, so do better. You know, there's nothing, like it has to be something that they can fix and do better, right? Like I had a client the other day who said, I asked her, like, what didn't she like about her past massages? And she was like, well, it just didn't feel like they had a really good understanding of the body. That is not good feedback, right? Like if she told me that as a business owner from one of my employees, I have to decipher what she means by that, right? And if that was me actually getting feedback from one of my employees, I would say, well, what do you mean? Like I would like, tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? Oh, you mean she didn't like she just went over knots and didn't really stop and focus on them. So like that customer's probably concerned that she doesn't really know that it's there, right? She's not really focusing on that. So maybe she doesn't feel it because she doesn't really know or have a good understanding of the body and the way it's supposed to feel, right? That's really what she means by that. But she doesn't have a good understanding of the body is not good feedback in itself. It's taking it deeper into what that really means. That is something that can be actionable. Because I can then go to my therapist and say, hey, when you feel a knot, you need to slow down, right? This is part of the training that I do. You need to slow down on it and actually focus on that. And without even speaking, you are communicating to them that you know that that knot and that spot is there. And then they will be like, oh, they can just feel it. Oh, they just know where all the problem spots are. And simply just by slowing down, that's the communication that you're getting across. So far, week 1, absolutely crushed it. The main thing we need to focus on right now is just getting her clients, getting people in the door to actually see her. Because, I mean, if this trend continues as the same as week 1, her business is going to explode, right? Because most businesses have usually 2 main problems. It's getting customers in, and then it's getting them to come back in. She's crushing it with getting them to come back in. We just need to get customers in and on her table. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you watching. I hope this is beneficial for you. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever people do on here. Peace.